Today, we are going to understand and learn about the floristic diversity in India, India, which is having a diversified ecosystem. So, we are going to have a brief understanding on this topic. Why our country is so rich in its biodiversity. India is the seventh largest country in the world and Asia's second largest nation with an area of about 3 lakh 28,000 square kilometers. That is almost 329 million hectare, encompassing a varied landscape rich in natural resources. India has a rich diversity of natural ecosystems from a cold and high Himalayan region to the seacoast, from the west northeastern green forest to the dry northwestern arid deserts. India has only 2.4% of the total land mass of the world, sharing about 11% of the total floristic diversity, and is one of the 18 mega diversity countries, that is centers with the major. The map here is showing the 36 recognized biodiversity hotspots in the world. How many do we have in India? We have about 4 biodiversity hotspots. Do we know what is a hotspot? A hotspot is a region with a high priority for conservation because of its abundant biodiversity, high endemism, and significant vulnerability. Hotspots for biodiversity are places with a high concentration of indigenous species. Therefore, according to Conservation International, at present, there are 36 biodiversity-rich areas in the world that have been qualified as hotspots, which represent nearly 2.5% of Earth's land surface, but support over 50% of world's endemic plant species. Species and their population vary widely in their abundance and geographical distribution because each region has unique phylogenetic, geographical, and ecological conditions. As per Botanical Survey of India 2022, the estimate of the plant diversity shows that we have about 55,387 taxa in the country. Our flowering plants encompasses about 22,108 species, followed by highest number is fungi, which is about 15,000 species. And this shows that we do have a diversity of the species, and every year new species have been described that has been provided by Botanical Survey of India in new discoveries. Here we are understanding about the agrobiodiversity for the country. Now, agrobiodiversity occupies a unique place within a biodiversity. It recognizes that agriculture evolved from bioprospecting, selection, and development of a few species from plant and other species to meet human needs for food, fiber, and fuel. All biotic factors related to agriculture, such as plants and others also, such as animals, fishes, reptiles, insects, birds, and microbes, are components of agrobiodiversity. We are concentrating on such things. The conservation, management, and sustainable use of this are required specific attention. India promising genetic resources include rice from Tamil Nadu, that is Konamani, and Assam, Agnibora, Kerala, Pokali. Like this, we do have several specific resources to a particular region. And do you know, recently the Ministry of Human Resources Development brought out a school, a unique guideline that is called as Nutrition Garden. encouraging students to identify fruits and vegetables best suited to topography, soil, and climate. Nutrition Garden emphasizes providing students lifelong social, numerical, and presentation skills, care for living organisms, and teamwork, besides being used in the midday meal scheme. Okay, based on nutrition garden, agrobiodiversity can be contemplated in all across the country to address India's hunger issue. So students, you do have a scope to develop a nutrition garden in your college. Next few moments is to look at the diversified species that we find across the country. This is a slide that shows about marine algae of the country, where they show varied colors, and we have about 680 species in the country. Gujarat coast, the island of Gulf of Mannar and Andaman and Nicobar a group of islands are of special interest in view of their luxuriance and diversity, about 45 species of them, and useful mainly as a source of agar-agar, food fodder, and bamboos are an integral part of Indian culture. It features from cradle to coffin in every social aspect of lives of people, but they are taxonomically very, very difficult to identify and study. In India, there are about 140 species of bamboos distributed mainly in Northeast and the Western Ghats, of which 30% are endemic. This is a very interesting and beautiful flowering species, especially belonging to the genera of Ceropegia. This has about 160 species, and it is distributed in Arabia, warm Africa, including Canary Island, to Australia. And in India, we have about 59 species, 2 subspecies, and 3 varieties, of which 40 taxa are endemic. And all Ceropegias included in the negative list of exports by the government of cold desert regions extending over 99,000 square kilometer in Trans-Himalayan region of Ladakh, in Jammu Kashmir, Lahul Spiti in Himachal Pradesh, and part of Garhwal in Uttarakhand is characterized by extremely diurnal variation in temperature and low rainfall. The phanerogamic flora here comprises about 1,405 species belonging to 490 genera under 98 families. Gymnosperms are mostly evergreen except the larches, woody perennials. In India, they are represented by 69 natural occurring taxa, 7 of which are endemic. This accounts for about 4.9% of the globally diversity. In addition to the ornamental value, these plants provide valuable timber, wood pulp, salt, wood, resins, edibles, medicines, etc. Out of the estimated 20,000 lichen species of the world, about 2,319 species under 306 genera and 74 families are known from India. About 528 species of these are endemic to our country. About 800 species of liverworts and 38 species of hornworts have been recorded from India. And having seen this diversity of plants, we have understood the current situation, especially of biodiversity, climate change, pollution, habitat loss, overexploitation of species, and invasive species have been identified as the major threats for the biodiversity globally. Biodiversity, crucial to human and planetary health, is declining faster than any time in human history.